All right, y'all, this is going to be a strange one. There's a missing passenger reported aboard the Carnival Conquest who failed to make their way through the disembarkation process in Miami. They were unable to locate this passenger anywhere on the ship, and authorities are actively searching for the man. And this cruise ship has already departed on its next sailing. I'll give you all the updates on this very strange story. Plus, as the world turns against cruising for seemingly no reason, yet another city says get out to big cruise ships. It's one you haven't heard of, so you're not going to want to miss this. Oh, and you may know Carnival's famous cruise director, Lee. But did you know there's also a tropical storm by the same name that's about to ruin your cruise and my cruise this weekend? Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. It's a jam-packed cruise news day. We're going to get right into it with our top story. We're heading down to Miami, where the Carnival Conquest pulled into port on Monday and disembarked. And yet not every passenger was scanned off the ship. A 26-year-old man identified as Kevin McGrath is officially now considered missing, and authorities are searching for McGrath. Now, the most recent sighting of McGrath was around 2 a.m. on Monday morning as the ship was pulling into port, when his travel companion confirmed seeing him on the Conquest as it was returning home from a 3-night cruise down to Bimini in the Bahamas. The ship's crew were unable to account for McGrath during the disembarkation process. Now, for their part, Carnival rightly tore the ship apart searching for this guest, also checking to see if there were any overboard situations from the ship. The U.S. Coast Guard is currently searching the surrounding waters around Miami, but is yet to achieve any findings. Now, Miami-Dade's SVU, Special Victims Unit, will also be lending a hand in the search for McGrath. And this is a strange one, ladies and gentlemen. And the Carnival Conquest, well, it's already flipped and left on its next cruise, a 4-night itinerary. So make sure you get subscribed to the channel here if you don't want to miss any of these updates coming out from this story. Now, it's a busy cruise news day, so we have to turn our attention to some cruise haters. You may soon have one less cruise stop on your next Mediterranean cruise, as the port town of Istanbul, Turkey, say they're fed up with cruise ships calling in their port. And this is an alarming trend that seems to be picking up steam. Well, around the world, it seems like just yesterday, I reported on other cruise ports becoming very unwelcoming towards cruise ships and their passengers for literally no reason. That was over in England. Well, apparently this issue here in Turkey, it's the horns. The horny cruise ships are too much for the turkeys. Gobble, gobble. With one person complaining that ships from one particular cruise line even honk their horns to the theme of the TV show, The Love Boat, when they pull into port. Now, locals interviewed by a large media outlet that you would know the name of, well, they say it's not the tourists or the cruisers that are the problem. Right. It's the size of the ships and the number of people that come into town, plus the noise. And some of these locals even claim that they won't even go out for a cup of coffee without first checking the cruise ship schedule. So yet another country here that may be on the outs for cruising in the future. We'll have to keep our eyes over on Istanbul. And speaking of things you should keep your eyes on, well, the prices in the Midships Amazon store are something that I think you'll be impressed by. Did you know that in there you could get some amazing cruise essentials, things that I personally test and use myself on every single cruise at a very fair price, and everything ships on Prime? Check it out. There's a link in the description down below. I would really appreciate your support. It helps keep me delivering the cruise news. Now, you might know Lee, your cruise director from Carnival Cruise Line. What a fantastic guy. I had a chance to spend some time with Lee on my group cruise recently. He was nice enough to actually come and visit our table when we were all eating in Chibang. What a great dude. Did you know Lee? He actually has a YouTube channel. It's Lee, your cruise director, if you want to check it out. But don't do it right now. Do it after the video, because if you leave now, the YouTube algorithm will literally crush me into obscurity, and I'll make no money on this video. So please don't leave yet. Well, Lee, the cruise director, is not the only Lee you might want to watch out for this weekend, as Tropical Storm Lee is brewing out in the Atlantic, and this storm is going to be making his way through the Caribbean and possibly impacting cruises sometime between Saturday and Sunday of this weekend. And I will be watching Lee very closely, as I'm due in Nassau, Bahamas this weekend on board the Carnival Freedom. Yeah, I told you a few episodes ago I was going to try to get on board the Carnival Fire before she leaves to have her funnel replaced. And guess what? Carnival's Casino came through with a wonderful comp for me. I am gonna go on that ship this weekend. Now, Lee, the storm is currently known as Tropical Depression 13. That's an unlucky number if I've ever heard it. But this storm is gaining momentum currently east of Barbados, and meteorologists are starting to be really concerned over the storm's potential impacts on the Eastern Caribbean and cruises throughout the weekend and early into next week. All right, we have a quick update for you Royal Caribbean, you loyal to Royal faithful. Remember the Radiance of the Seas, the ship that broke down up in Seaward, Alaska? Well, the update is that there is no update, and cruisers on the next itinerary, which is only a few days away now, well, they're starting to sweat bullets on their Alaska cruise for Radiance of the Seas, as the ship, it's still stuck in port up in Alaska, really unable to move out of the port, being plagued with propulsion issues. I would bet the Facebook group for that cruise is absolutely wild right now. Y'all know you can join a Facebook group for your cruise, right? And I recommend you do it. Just go on Facebook, go in the little search bar, type the name of your ship and the date. So Radiance of the Seas, September 8th, 2023. It'll pop up, and I encourage you to join. It's a great, great place to find out all the tea that happens on your cruise ship. Now, I actually might join this Facebook group for this Royal Caribbean cruise, so my fingers are crossed for all of you booked on Radiance of the Seas. Hopefully, Royal Caribbean can get things straightened out with this beautiful, beautiful ship up in Alaska. If you made it this far into today's episode, well, hey, why don't you get subscribed to the channel? We'd love to have you here. As we get closer and closer to 20,000 subscribers, it's going to be a big celebration. Maybe you'll put us over the edge. While you're down there subscribing, do me a huge favor, slam that thumbs up button. If you wish you could join me on my cruise this weekend aboard Carnival Freedom, I sure would love it if you could join. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, and until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships. La 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 la.